Hello, everyone. Welcome to the untitled, soon-to-be titled wrestling podcast with Deadhorse. I am Cody White, your host, along with my co-hosts.
I'm Josh Weber.
And I'm Zach Jankowski.
This episode number 1, debut episode, is going to be real short. We're going to talk a little bit about Fyter Fest. We just wrapped up our Twitch channel live review, which you can look forward to most weeks, especially the big events like Fyter Fest, Fight for the Fallen, and of course pay-per-views. That's going to be at twitch.tv/2force gaming. We will link that everywhere that this podcast will be. Real basic, guys, what was your favorite match tonight?
My favorite match would probably have to be the coffin match at the end, specifically the end of it. I mean, the whole match was absolutely insane, but to drop on him with the skateboard and then put him in the coffin and do a coffin drop after the fact, absolutely insane.
Yeah, that was absolutely disgusting. Darby Allin is insane. I don't even know what to say about that. We've seen it time and time again, him just putting his body through the worst to entertain us, and I am very thankful for that. That was a great end of the night, an awesome night. I think personally my favorite match, a little biased because it's, Jon Moxley, but love Jon Moxley going into a match where has a title for over 500 days. You think he's going to lose it. I said right at the beginning, there's no way they're going to let Jon Moxley win this match. Comes through, wins it. And what do? They announce another perfect match for next week for Jon Moxley and Lance Archer, the Texas Death Match. That's going to be absolutely insane. Looking forward to that. We will be live streaming that on the Twitch as well. Hopefully this is up by then. Josh, how about you, man? What was yours?
Yeah, Mox versus Machine Gun there is so close to first, and honestly, before the coffin match, I think I would have said that was my favorite. I mean, it was just fun to see Moxley back. It's been a bit, so he's enjoyable, and they kind of built that rivalry up in a fun way. And like you said, you go into it assuming that he's not going to walk away with that title because he's held it so long, and he still retains, and it's the first event of the night and things are electric. But I still have to say the coffin match because it was just that good. Nothing could beat that out tonight. It was brutal and fun to watch as it was. And, as it ended, I thought, man, I didn't want anything else to happen, but I wanted more. Like, I wasn't ready for the match to be over. So then Darby climbs up to the top, and of course coffin drops through the top of the coffin, which was absolutely amazing, especially after we spent the entire match talking about how solid that coffin looked. Then to watch him just put himself through it was fucking crazy. So yeah.
Hey, you know what? Honestly, if I'm being honest with you, and it might be just nostalgia and, like I said, the bias of me just loving Jon Moxley, I honestly think that the coffin match was probably my third favorite of the night.
Really?
I have to put, like I said, Jon Moxley first. I have to put that Hardy Christian match. It wasn't a lot to the eye. It was very old fashioned, not too many gimmicks. But just going back to the early 2000s with those two was just,
the nostalgia factor was huge for sure.
oh god, dude, it had me hooked. I don't think I talked at all during it. I think I was just watching and staring because it's just,
I was gonna say that during the live stream was like we talked the least during the Hardy and Cage match, which I think probably says a lot more than you think.
yeah, no, exactly. And kind of give the listeners a little background. I watch wrestling a lot. I watch probably 4 nights a week of wrestling. Like, not so much WWE, but I watch the pay-per-views. I still have Peacock. I run through. I had WWE Network before that. I run through all the pay-per-views. I watch AEW every week, Dark, Elevation, all of it. So I watch a lot. Where these two um used to watch wrestling growing up, like we all did. And I think that just that nostalgia, just going back, and all three of us were just at the screen, just watching these two that we grew up watching 20 years ago just beating the hell out of each other. And
Yeah, the only thing it was missing was a table, ladder, and or a chair.
yeah, and they're tag team partners. But
Well, yeah, and 3 other guys, but 4
hey,
other
you
guys.
know what? Maybe one day we will get all 6 of them together again, and they'll just be 40-year-old men beating the hell out of each other like they were when they were 20. And it'll probably be just as good. It'll probably be just as good. Like I said, this week we're gonna keep it short. I just wanted to introduce ourselves. We will go more in depth, probably 30-minute episodes on our next ones. We're gonna do this twice monthly. Kind of just close out, honestly. What are you excited for next week? Fighter Fest Day 2.
Oh, Moxley and Archer was a huge announcement. I'm super excited for that. The first of, I mean, every fucking match I'm excited for. The first of Jericho's 5 trials going against Shawn Spears. Orange Cassidy, who I love to watch, versus the Blade, who obviously I think we have to love. We're like obligated, in a good way. That's not like a dig.
Yeah, Buffalo Boys got to represent.
Yeah, absolutely. The biggest thing I'm excited for next week is for sure the 5-man Hangman and Dark Order versus the
The Elite.
the Elite. Yeah, I was trying to remember what they're calling themselves. Yes, the Elite. That's gonna be amazing because I mean, how the fuck are Hangman and Dark Order not going to walk away with that win, and then Dark Order gets a shot at the Bucks at the tag titles? Like that's top of my list next week for sure. But next week is going to be great no matter what.
Absolutely. I can't wait. How about you, Zach?
Quite honestly, I would have to say that I'm most excited for the Moxley Archer fight. Tonight was the first time that I had seen Moxley fight. It was one hell of a way to start the show, extremely action packed. So to see him wrestle again with as big of a match as this is easily has to be the biggest thing that I'm excited for.
And it's a title fight, and
Yeah.
Lance Archer is one of those guys who is a just monstrous, massive human being where you're going to see some awesome shit when he's
Right.
wrestling.
And there's
sorry, Cody, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say there's already that with the same title since Lance Archer was had it before
Mhm.
and lost it to John Moxley with this title. It's going to be so good. And we're going into it again saying, okay, well, John Moxley like we went in tonight, he just broke the record for the amount of times that you can defend this title. How long are they gonna let him go with this title? It's gonna be over 600 days, I believe, once this next week comes. Like, how long is he going to have it? And you're going into this match where it's a rivalry. John Moxley's got the ego. Lance Archer's definitely got the ego. Like, where are you going to go? Like, one of my favorite things of AEW is you don't know what writing and creative is even thinking because this match would not be happening anywhere else. There's no way this match would happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially on a Wednesday night, not a pay-per-view. This is nighttime TV, primetime TV. Like I'm stoked for that match as well. But Zach, go ahead. You were gonna say something there and I kind of cut you off.
Oh, you're fine. It's just, I haven't watched wrestling since I was, oh gosh, maybe 12, 13 years old. I can't remember exactly when we stopped, Josh.
Yeah.
But to come back, going from watching WWE, stopping for 10, 15 years and coming back to an action-packed show like AEW, it's just so cool. And then to have a nostalgic fight like Hardy and Cage tonight, it makes me excited for next week and every week thereafter.
Yeah, 100%. I did want to loop back to that. So 2 things. First of all, I did the math while you were talking. Well, I did the math. I looked it up. So 557 days as of today that Moxley has had that IWGP title. So if he makes it to next week and gets through it, it'll be 564, which is insane.
Yeah, that's granted through a pandemic, but so there wasn't a whole lot going on, but still, insane amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, pandemic or not, there's storylines in there that can take it away from him. So I don't, I think that's worth something.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just wanted to loop back exactly to what Zach was saying. I'm in the same boat, except I started 4 months ago, watching wrestling again. Zach and I were heavy into wrestling in the like end of the Attitude Era, into the like ruthless aggression era. Late '90s, early 2000s. We used to play the video games constantly. I feel like there's no better place to mention this except to say that myself and my dear friend Timothy started what we called the Attic Wrestling Federation, in which we created characters and wrestled pillows, and used to push them downstairs on makeshift stretchers and, and things like that. There's no better time to bring that up than now. So that's my background, similar to Zach's. Cody and I kind of just got Zach convinced to start watching AEW here a couple weeks ago now. And I'm sure he's enjoying it as much as I am. Cody got me to watch back in March. Somehow it came up about the Moxley and Omega exploding barbed wire death match. And I said, well, holy shit, I haven't watched wrestling in 15 years. But if there's something called an exploding barbed wire death match, I think I have to watch it. So
Right.
I'm in the same boat.
As lackluster as it ended up.
You know what? I had a great time still. Every match before that night was great. I just had trouble following storylines. But yeah, so I'm right there with Zach, is really the point I want to make, is that AEW is action packed and great, and they're giving you a great show week in, week out, and it was fun to watch Hardy and Cage go at it tonight as if it was 2000 and whatever again, and it's enjoyable, is the long and short of what I'm getting at. I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. Yeah. So if you can't tell, we're going to be very AEW heavy. After pay-per-views, any news that happens, I'll definitely bring some in, because like I said, I do pay attention outside of AEW as well. It will just be scarce, honestly. So if you're a WWE fanboy, this is probably where you stop listening. You love AEW, hey, stick around. But for me, next week, I gotta go with the Malachi Black Cody Rhodes match.
Oh, how did I forget?
I have to go with it. And that has nothing to do with and this is probably gonna hurt some feelings, but I feel like Cody Rhodes hasn't had a great match in a while. No fault to him. I'm sure, you're running a company. I'm sure got a big head into creative, and but Malachi Black is just a name that when he came in, just instantly, it doesn't matter who he fights first match, I'm gonna want to watch that first. I'm gonna watch that. It's gonna be my favorite match of the night, and hopefully Malachi Black kicks the hell out of Cody Rhodes and goes on to have just an unreal career with AEW, because he deserves it, and quite honestly was mistreated indeed at WWE, and just couldn't be happier he's here. So
How many people is that the story for on AEW's roster right now? And it's exciting for that reason.
Not many, honestly, and it is something I wanted to get into probably next week or whenever we do our next episode, but AEW is not out here signing everybody that comes off of WWE. They put out a presser saying that they don't want WWE rejects, and feel like there's a big difference between rejects and who they're signing. Like Miro, he had a very good career with WWE. He's not a reject. Malachi Black, Aleister Black in WWE, was well on his way. I think WWE got hurt big time by this pandemic and had to cut a lot of people that it's going to hurt them, whether they're with AEW, they're with Impact, Ring of Honor. I see Mickie James is even going back to NWA to do her own, run her own women's league with them. So it's going to be incredible. So it's going to hurt them. It's going to hurt them, but it's going to help wrestling fans. I haven't watched anything other than WWE in 10 years, since TNA had Sting. I just didn't watch anything else. And now I'm able to watch Impact every week. Not every week, but a lot of weeks. Impact, Ring of Honor. I found myself Sunday mornings watching Ring of Honor. Sunday morning television, like just all over the place. But we'll get into that another day, kind of on a slower week. But I do want to thank you guys for stopping in, listening to us. Like I said, keep this one short. Next week, watch us on Twitch. We're gonna watch Fighter Fest 2.
Please come by. It was so lonely.
Oh, it was lonely, but it was still fun. Like, I don't care, man. I'll watch wrestling alone.
It's always fun.
Twitch.tv/2force. That's TWOFOURTHS gaming. I'll put a link in everywhere where we post this. Subscribe, like, share with your friends, and we will see you next episode.
See ya. Dead Horses out. Yup. Cody, I'm sorry. I wanted to say that nobody went on to ask you what your favorite match of the night was. Zach and I were, or what you're looking forward to next week. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine. We went on a little tangent, which is fine. That's gonna happen.